Jacqueline Harris has a Master in Social Work from Fordham University. She is a producer and talk show host of I Have a Dream Too, Empowering You. She is also the founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization called I Have a Dream Too, Inc. I had to. Just ask me. Jacqueline is an entrepreneur, empowerment coach, motivational speaker, and visionary. She believes that all people can redefine their purpose, their place, and their possibilities through determination, persistence, and tenacity. Jacqueline has begun to crystallize her goals. Without difficulty, she continues to make plans daily to achieve all possibilities. With her supreme confidence, determination, and disregard for obstacles and other people's criticisms, she will carry out her plans. Why? I have a dream too. Jacqueline knows she can dream anything she wants to dream. That's the beauty of the human mind. Jacqueline can do anything she wants to do. That is the strength of the human will. Most importantly, Jacqueline trusts herself to test all limits. This will be Jacqueline's courage to succeed. Come join me on this journey of empowerment because you have a dream too.
Good evening and welcome to my show. I Have a Dream Too, and I am your host, Jacqueline Harris. And we are here to empower people and to bring some purpose in people's lives, even if it's to define your place and your possibility. So tonight, I have a special guest, Tiffany Washington. She is the CEO and founder of Reason to Live. And she's going to share a very special message in regards to how she has redefined her purpose, her calling. And so I want to welcome Tiffany on tonight. How are you, Miss Tiffany Washington?
I'm great, and how are you? Thank you for having me on this show. I'm privileged, and I find it an honor that you put me on your show this evening.
Thank you, and I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. So, Reason to Live. Talk to me a little bit about how you came up with Reason to Live.
I came about with Reason to Live due to a personal story of mine. Reason to Live is a nonprofit organization that deals with suicide prevention, and that came about with me from my experience in on December 14th of 2009. My son did an apparent attempt of suicide by hanging himself. And from those journeys, from being in ICU and being in the different, hospitals, God just spoke to me and gave it to me. And from that point, being in his hospital room, I organized our first walk. That was in 2010, and it came together nicely, and I had a warm welcoming to that. And from that point, I continued to carry out doing the walks and also just telling my story about my son, what we went through as a family and what we are still going through, because my son is still with us. Praise God for that. And it's not an easy road, but he is making baby steps. My son experienced lack of oxygen to the brain, which leaves him totally dependent on myself, which now I am his guardian. And at the time that it had happened, he was going on 21 years old. So you can imagine we had to celebrate his birthday being in an ICU unit at the hospital.
So, and thank God your son is doing very well. He's doing better. And like you said, he's taking baby steps. And I know that is definitely something that is taking a toll on the family and an impact on the family. And so I know that you're also an assistant director. You're also working on your master's, I believe it is, as well.
Yes, correct. Yes, I am. I try to stay busy. I try to take what you can pretty much say what should be considered for most people. They look at it as, oh my God, that's so bad, or wow, you're going through this. But you have to look at it on a lighter side, that, this all turns around for the good. I couldn't let the circumstance consume me, because I feel that if it would have, I wouldn't have the chance to meet the people that have so graciously, like yourself, been inviting me into these type of forums where I'm able to talk and, express about this, because suicide has a face, and it's not predominantly by color. Most people, especially in the African American community, they look at it like, oh no, it doesn't happen in our community. Yes, it does. And that's why we're here. And I'm here because I know what I went through and experienced. It's a lonely journey. I didn't really know who I would talk to, what do you do? And so from that point, that's why I look at it as, pretty much our reason to live, showing hope that you can come through it and that we're here for you, to have a shoulder to lean on, because it's a lot. It's just really a lot. It's a domino effect. It doesn't just affect the family, it affects the community as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that you kind of bring up also that it doesn't, it affects any race, okay?
Yes.
But also in the African American community is something that we don't speak about. And that's why it was important for me to bring you onto the show to spread the message, because it could be happening with anyone and you don't even know it, okay? Someone that may be feeling depressed and you're not able to pick up the signs, etc. So that's why it's important that what you're doing in terms of reason to live, there is a reason to live through empowering others and the various things that you are doing. So now you've been doing this since 2010, and as you said, your son is making some strides and he's getting better, etc.
Yes.
And then there's also, you talked about the first walk. What was that about? Mm-hmm.
Our first walk was basically, like I said, I didn't have much as far as resources. I didn't have a clue as to how, people put together walks. Being behind the scenes of a walk, it entails, a great deal. And myself, being that it was just predominantly just myself working on it, and then like with my daughter, and just calling around in the local community to say, well, okay, I need t-shirts, for a walk, you need t-shirts. And, I started selling t-shirts, like for $15. I'm like, okay, t-shirts, we need t-shirts. Who do we get to sponsor certain things, like for waters, and the location.
Right.
The location was key point, because I wanted to make sure that wherever we were, there was a steady flow of traffic that would see us and, would notice, like, wow, who is that? What are they walking? What are they, what are they standing for? So our first location, it was just basically right by the Shoreway, which is like by our lake, by Lake Erie.
Okay.
It's like a pier, and a lot of people drive that. It's very busy. And it was at the park up on top of this hill. So basically a lot of people, they do come in and out of that park. So they got a chance to see us as well. And then I appreciated the 1st District Police. They helped us with maintaining, like, crossing the busy streets and everything. That was just really, it was just mind blowing for me. And, just having the support to see that people, they're supporting just not me, but supporting other people.
Right.
And just the outpouring. And then just from there, just seeing how people responded, everyone was just like, okay, you need to do this again. So then the next walk started. Mm-hmm. And that way I was a little bit more comfortable. And then this way I have formed a little team, and it wasn't so heavy just on myself, but now I had a little help. So once again, getting the location, and we wound up being downtown by the Science Center, our Great Lakes Science Center, which is around the pier, towards Lake Erie, a very nice location right by the Brown Stadium and everything. So you're right in a central location. So we take that, and each year we kind of map it out to do probably like 2.5-mile walk throughout downtown. So while you're walking, you're enjoying each other's company. You have light. I try to make sure we have light refreshments, like our farmers market. They've been a sponsor of ours for the last 3 years. Like with fresh fruit, they supply a local sandwich shop, Dave's Cosmic Subs. They have been so generously every year to provide the sub sandwiches. Home Depot, they've provided like the flats of waters. It's just like the outpouring. I'm just like, wow. And then like people give like donations, and our donations are made up through the sales of our t-shirts. So our t-shirts are very special as well, because each year I like seeing how our sponsors have grown. And then also, like this past year, we were able to get one of the HMO, the PPO insurance companies
Mm-hmm.
called Molina Healthcare, and they're one of our sponsors. So
Right.
I'm
So
very excited
basically,
for the people that are
right.
coming on sponsoring us.
So basically, the education and awareness, and you're located in Cleveland, Ohio,
Yes,
and the education and awareness that you're bringing that is attracting a lot of people that have uh, in their family or somebody they know, a friend, etc., that are experiencing some of the same things. So I applaud you for that, for taking and
thank you.
coming out of that shell sometimes that we can put ourselves in and
Correct.
say that it's
Yes.
just in the family. We're not going to talk about it. I'm embarrassed. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
anybody to know. But be coming out of that square, or like I said, that shell, to be able to share that how important it is that we do need to educate and make people more aware, because we are now hearing across the country how
Right.
suicide amongst teens is rising, and that
Yes.
the
Yes, it is.
dialogue, I always say the dialogue and the communication is necessary, okay, to
Yes.
be able to see what's happening with our youth today. Simply, how was
Yes.
your day today? And we
Yes.
all lead busy lives, and as long as the kids are fine and we're not having any conflict, all is well. And we do the same
Right.
thing day in and day out, but we never really realize that something is happening to one of our children, that it could be so devastating and impact the entire family, and also, like you said, the community. So,
Yes.
so every year you have a walk. You wear different
Yes.
colored T-shirts for every year
Hmm.
to represent your son,
Exactly.
but also to represent the awareness of that. And then
Yes.
also, you have some other things that you're doing as well. You have a dinner mingle
Yes.
function, hmm
Yes.
and that
Yes.
is
Yes. It's called Mix and Mingle. Basically, what it is, we just try to within a year to find like a local restaurant. And last year, like we used, they're called Jezebels, and they serve like New Orleans style food, as well as like a little, where people can get their if they're drinks, they can do that as well. It's a restaurant slash lounge, and within that, we invite people to come in and patronize the restaurant. And while in doing so, for that evening, at the end of the evening, the part of the proceeds go to our organization. And this year we had a local restaurant called Frederick's, and they were just exceptional, and they went above and beyond and helped us in a great deal outside of what we did that evening. They also pitched in extra for our organization. So has become a regular for us as well,
hmm
to do a mix and mingle, just to kind of call the community out, for people to come out, and just, learn about Reason to Live, and also just to help you and, give you information on what to look for to save lives.
Okay, great. So we're just going to take a little break right now, and we'll come back and talk about more of Reason to Live. Thank you.
Okay. Hmm.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
Guys, ready for the show? Yeah. Enjoy it.
Welcome back. I have my guest, Tiffany Washington. She is the CEO and founder of Reason to Live. And we were just talking about some things that she has done in educating and making others aware of teen suicide. And so I'm going to ask Tiffany to talk about some signs and symptoms that she saw prior to her son who attempted suicide. And he is living today, but what were some signs and symptoms that you saw that you can make other people aware that may be listening or watching that could perhaps take a look at and hear some of these signs and symptoms? Because as we know that there's a lot of anxiety that's placed on children, of feeling very anxiety. There's a lot of loss, there's a lot of despair that teens are feeling, a lot of hopelessness. And again, like I said earlier, we don't really pick up on that because we're very busy, we're on the phones, we're all the electronics, but we miss those things that are necessary to perhaps save a life. So talk about that a little bit prior to your son attempting suicide.
Prior to the suicide, I noticed that there was a lot of anger, and anger is a telltale sign when they can't release those emotions. And I must say as well, the relationships. A lot of our teenagers are faced with the relationships where they want to be loved, and then through Facebook, our social media, that's a downplay for them because now all of their relationship has been publicly displayed. There's no way of taking that back. My son faced that as well. He was in a relationship and he wanted to be the set, so I love you. He loved in a very hard way, if I can say.
Okay.
And he only saw that relationship and he wanted what was best for that relationship. Then I started noticing, he was kind of feeling like, what is my purpose? Because he got laid off twice from his job, especially like two weeks prior to coming up in December. It was getting close to Christmas. And then out of that relationship came, of course, my beautiful granddaughter. And he just wanted the ideal family. He did not want anything less for his family. He did not want anything less for his baby girl. He was an excellent father throughout the months, because at the time that it had happened, my granddaughter, she was only 6 months old. Then, of course, that's another story with that as well.
Right.
But I noticed him just, his loss of appetite. He just felt like, why am I here?
Right.
And he would say that. He was like, Mom, what am I doing wrong? I'm doing everything right. Why? His answer, he would always ask me why. And then even as he was coming up, going to high school, he faced bullying. He would get jumped for no apparent reason. People, like if he wore something nice, he had it taken from him. And once again, I had to answer those questions of why me, Mom, what is going on?
What is something
and a lot of that, yes, our
Sorry.
teenagers, and
I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut
Yes.
you off there. What are some things that you could say to parents that may be listening? What can you say to the parents based on the signs and the symptoms that you saw? What is something that you could say to them now today, knowing what you know and experience?
that's it's hard still right now, So I just say you can't take any child for granted. I don't care what their age is, what they appear to say, mom or dad, whomever, I'm okay. No, they're not okay. Not in this society. They're not okay. Parents, be aware of who and what they're doing on the internet. It's a lot of texting going on because they, in this generation, we're so easy to let them have the phone as their friend, their everything. That phone is everything. Stop the phone. Stop it, please. We need to get back into a society where we're sitting down as a family
Yes.
and enjoying each other's company. Turn off the phones when you go to the restaurants. Turn them off. Look at your child in the face and let them know that you love them. That I can solely say. I have always told my children, I don't care how big they got, I still kiss them goodnight. I still kiss them. We kissed, we hugged. That's something that children long for.
Right.
And you can't go wrong with that. Do not push them away, because not so much the anger, but there is like the substance abuse. You may not know. Like you may find lighters and wonder, like, what are they doing? Yes, marijuana
Yes.
is a depressant. That's
Right.
their number one go-to drug when a person is feeling, especially with the teens, when they're feeling depressed. You have alcohol as well. You run into alcohol abuse. The use of pills now that are out here, easy access. Check your medicine cabinets. Look for those signs. Look for who they're being with. I mean, us as parents, we try our best. We try to tell our children, think about your relationships. But the more that we can tell them, the more we push them into the relationship. So kind of I saw how the relationship was going, but it wasn't so much that I could say, but I kind of, my son knew that I was not loving the relationship. I did not like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to say, okay, I'm going to let him see for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, that was the wrong thing to do. But either which way it goes, we don't have a pamphlet to raise our children.
Right.
We don't. But when it comes to suicide, it is the third leading cause of death with children between the ages of 15 to 24-year-olds.
Right.
And it is really getting worse. And even you have children at the age of 9 that are taking their lives.
Yes.
So we have a society where we need to come back to it takes a village to raise a child.
Right, and it makes it a much more tragic loss simply because they haven't even begun to live their lives. So, like you
Right.
said, 15 to 21, 9-year-olds, etc., is definitely something that we really have to bring the awareness of how it impacts the communities. And like I said, in terms of Reason to Live, your program, it helped you to redefine who you were or who you
Yes.
are as a person, as a woman, to be able to say that I'm going to step out, I'm going to let everybody know this has happened in my family, okay, and that I need to
Yes.
be able to empower others through this message. And hopefully, you know what, throughout all of this, if we could save one child's life, okay, or we can make another parent aware of and be able to step in with bravery and courage,
Yes.
then we did a lot, because the rates are rising, the statistics are
Yes, they
rising
are.
every single day. And while we may not read about it or hear about it in the news all the time, there's a child today that has taken their life.
Exactly.
So that's
Yes.
why it was so important to another one of those subject matters, while very sensitive, it is something that needed to be heard on I Have a Dream Too, okay? And just like
Yes.
yourself, you have a dream, and your dream was to create a beacon of hope
Yes.
for someone else. So that's real important. So you have
Yes.
your second annual walk. You have your mix and mingle. Now you also created a fashion show out of this.
Yes, the fashion show we did, the fashion show, oh my gosh, it was a lot of work. But in between seeing what we could put together, and we did it within the community, we used like a local center. One of our gentlemen in the neighborhood, he has like a center for where children come and they do their karate lessons. It's just like a little hall, like this hall. And he was so nice. He donated the hall to us, and we flipped it upside down
Okay.
and brought it to where it needed to be, and it was wonderful. I mean, we had a great time. We used local vendors in the neighborhood that had, like their shops, their clothing shops. We used several of those. They were nice enough to trust us, and everything pulled off well. We even down to the food. Once again, we had people who donated for that part. It turned out wonderful. Our models, trying to pull people together to do that, working with them, it was funny, but it was a task. It was long hours that we pulled, but it was great. We enjoyed that. And people are still asking us to do another fashion show. And I'm just like breathing like, oh my goodness.
And this is
but
all right.
It was wonderful.
Very good. This is all comes about as a result of your son. Could you have ever imagined?
Yes.
Because at this point you would have, you're still working, etc. I don't know how you do it all, because you're going to school, you're working full time, you're also
Yes.
a part-time teacher, so I don't know where you find all of the time to do all of this, but that's God's calling, okay, for you.
Yes, that's God.
That's right. And so putting this all together in the name of your son. Now, have there been parents that have come to you and actually said thank you for coming out and giving us this message, because they may have been experiencing something of that nature?
Yes, and in here lately, I've found where I've consoled with a grandmother that lost her granddaughter, and another mom that lost their child. The stories and people that I happen across, is just phenomenal. And like I said, no one would ever think that it is happening this fast and rampant right in the African American community. They would not fathom. They would go, really? But it is. The rate is getting higher and higher within the African American community, because actually, you have even, the African American males that are taking their lives. Like when you look at the news and you see maybe what looks as to be a police chase, or they're being shot in robberies, it's actually not to say that that person was being bad or the other way around. No, they actually want to leave here to stop their pain, and this is the way that they rather go out, knowing that they went out with everybody knowing who they are. So that's why on our website I had to post and say, suicide is not a glamorous way out. And a lot of times you have our children that will sit and think about it and do things, even like it goes back to the shooting in D.C. where the young lady was in the car. She was bipolar, but all in all, she still wanted to have a glamorous way out.
Right.
If you never heard me, now you're hearing me.
Right.
So it's really just devastating.
Mm-hmm. And it is, and oftentimes we miss all the signs and the symptoms, and it is definitely their cry for help. We're hearing more, even the statements of suicide. We hear more about kids doing self-directed violence or self-injurious behavior, and very simple things of just taking staples, okay, and writing in their skin, and all of those things that are happening with our kids. And I think a lot more is because of social media that influences this type of behavior. And I think it's just we have to take the position in this country to be able to put some guidelines, hopefully, okay, in order to save more of these children's lives. So now you have the fashion show, you got the mix and mingle, now you have the walk, now you have the mother and son event. What's that about?
That just came out of the grace of God, because I saw myself, I thought of it as being a tough event to do, because I'm looking at all these mothers with their sons. But I had to put some light on. You have a lot of moms that are raising their sons by themselves. And a lot of time we don't hear the good. You're so focused on the bad, nothing but the bad. But actually we have great mothers that are strong and raising very, very wonderful young men. And I wanted to put this event together to say thank you. You're being appreciated. And I wanted to make sure that the sons know you're very appreciated, and keep doing the good work that you're doing. So this event is a night and evening. We have it on a Sunday evening, and it's at a nice place, Party Center. And this year was at the Mediterranean. Last year was at our Lander Haven. And you get all dressed up in your after 5 attire. It's kind of like a prom. I call it like the prom. Mom bringing her son, or son bringing mom. And it's mothers and sons of all ages. And they enjoy it. I mean, they play around in the photo booth. They get their pictures taken. They eat, have a nice, wonderful meal, full course, sit-down meal. They dance. We have raffles. We raffle off like haircuts from the local barbers, hair wraps, beauty parts, with pedicures, manicures, Mary Kay, and like we have the silent auction. We've been grateful for Coca-Cola, Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Browns have donated for our silent auctions. So it's just it's phenomenal. And then like we've had last year, I had our local Fox 8. His name is Kicking It with, they call him Kicking It with Kenny.
Tiffany, hold that note. Hold that note. We're just going to go take a break for a minute. We'll come right back. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Let our creativity work for you. We design business cards, brochures, annual reports, newsletters and magazines, menus and programs, flyers and mailers, signs and posters, and more. We also do voiceovers. First impressions matter. Make yours count with an expressive voice artist. Distinctive, warm, soothing, natural delivery that can add believability and appeal to any audio project. Contact us to discuss how we can make your project a success. Sierra Graphics. That's info@sierragraphics.com.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV. You are the man.
I am Tom Mealy for the Harrison Law Group, and I have been telling you for years that getting involved in an automobile accident is no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. If you've been involved in an accident of any kind, and you go to a law firm that says you have no case, it's simple. It's because they can't do it and they don't get it. You need to call us directly at 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
Welcome back. Tiffany Washington is my guest on I Have a Dream 2 tonight. And we've been talking about her program called Reason to Live. And she has been, she actually defined her purpose through all of this, as we spoke earlier in reference to her son. And we're just getting ready to share a little bit more about the annual Mother and Son event that she now has put together. And I really wanted to talk a little bit about that more, because it is another issue that is arising across the country of fatherless sons and daughters. So this event, this mother-daughter event that you were beginning to talk about, I think is very important, because it allows young men to be able to feel whole without their father.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about the event and how that idea came about.
The event, like for myself, I always wish that there was some type of event that my son and myself could have attended to show that, you know, there's another way that you are appreciated for being my son. You know, it's kind of like a showcase to say, wow, you know, this, I love you so much, you know, and it just oozes, you know, when I put together, like seeing it for this year too, moms and the sons, they just light up like Christmas. And I mean, the sons, because I do a thing where we have the mothers and son where we just say, give your son a big hug, you know, a big kiss. And just to see the sons do that, you know, embrace their moms and the moms embrace their sons. It's just awesome. I mean, you can't put words on something like that. It's just something that's well needed. And especially, you know, within our communities, just to know that there's more going on than the bad news. Right. That here's something where it's the good is being, you know, given. And the mothers and the sons are taking time out to here. I want my son to attend this. I mean, I have people that, as they purchase the tickets, they're just like, wow, I wish this had been when my son was, you know, coming up or whatever, but I want to come. I'm going to bring my older son now. But, you know, it's just really a feel-good event. And then I just get so full at seeing this. It just does my heart good.
Now you're in Cleveland, Ohio. Where can people find you? You have a website. What is that called?
Yes. Our website, you can go to www.reason09.com.
Okay, and then also, if people want to call you, is there a phone number or anything where they can call you if they want to reach out to you? Is there a phone number that you can offer?
Yes, you can reach us at 216-282-4R2L.
Okay.
Once again, that's 216-282-4R2L.
Okay, great. And so I do want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing your story, and that you're still working on this. Your son is taking baby steps, and I wish him a lot of luck, okay, and success in his recovery. And I just want to applaud you for creating that beacon of hope for many others, that, you know, there is hope for those who are feeling helpless. And we definitely will network on the other side, okay, and get together from New York to Ohio, and put some things together. And we will definitely put the word out even more so. So definitely want to thank you for coming on. It's been wonderful, and we will talk soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance.
Maybe she needs help with a computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this, you'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh. Trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue tequila. Now, mix it up. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
You know you already want a Toyota, but when you want more from your Toyota store, you want Smithtown Toyota, where every Toyota comes with Smithtown Toyota's Toyota for Life program, giving you lifetime New York State inspections, lifetime 10% discounts on all parts and service, 2 years of complimentary oil changes, 2 years of scheduled maintenance, and more, all at no cost to you, plus low clear-out deals on every Toyota in stock. Get more from your Toyota store. Hurry to Smithtown Toyota.
This is Beth.
Hi.
Oh, congratulations. When are you due?
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, look at that. Excuse me.
You're totally thin.
You look very sexy.
For life's bleachable moments, all it takes is 3/4 of a cup.
Welcome back to I Have a Dream Too, Empowering You. I have new guests here with me this evening. I have Raisha and Marcella from the ladies from Let's Do Brunch New York City. So they're here this evening to talk about Let's Do Brunch and what that exactly means and how it all got started. So either one of you, Raisha?
So Let's Do Brunch New York City really came out of, from us having a conversation. Marcella and I had just finished watching a reality TV show, and we realized that the images of women of color being depicted on reality TV weren't very positive. And so we really wanted to be able to show the world that women can come together, can support one another in a very positive way. And so we decided to host a brunch. And so we hosted our first brunch.
And what's better than brunch to have these wonderful discussions? And we brought these women together, and it wasn't supposed to be what it is now, but we received so much feedback from the women, and they were all saying, I'm so glad you're doing this, and this is such a wonderful event, and when is the next brunch? And we looked at a calendar, and that's how Let's Do Brunch was born.
And when did you start this?
March of this year.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Oh,
so we're
definitely have
we're
grown.
almost a
Oh,
year
yes,
old.
yes. And so the brunch is not about just, you talk about it's with a purpose.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's real important
Yes,
because
yes.
that's what I Have a Dream Too is about. It's about having a purpose. So
Yes.
by bringing these women together, you are creating a purpose for them. And so just talk a little bit about that, what happens at these brunches and the elegance, okay, that's with it.
So, one of the things that we realize is that women often don't have the opportunity to network, right? And so we are mothers, we are wives, we are career women, and we are trying to juggle it all. And so we wanted to create a space where women could come together, share resources, and be able to network. We felt like brunch was the perfect opportunity to do that because it really does create a comfortable space, right? So we wanted to remove the traditional definition of networking, and bring it to women in a way that it was accessible. And so our brunches are just that. We have 3 simple rules, and we ask that women do 3 things at our brunches.
So you have to smile at least once.
Okay.
You have to meet at least 2 people you do not know. And you have to leave better off than you came.
Okay.
And that's the ultimate goal of our brunches, is that you leave better off than you came. And like Raisha was saying, the traditional network setting, it's usually work, it's usually stuffy.
It's a name tag.
It's a
type
name
of thing.
tag. There's no
Right.
name
Name
tags.
tags,
You feel
right.
like you can't be yourself
So it
because you
forces
feel
you to
like
go,
someone's
right.
always watching. And this is about sister girls getting together and just having discussions and talking. And you may leave with a couple of resumes in hand. You may leave with a new hairdresser or a new person to babysit your child, or you may leave with a new friend
Right.
who you're going to attend the next brunch with.
Right.
And so at each of our brunches, what we try to do is have some type of theme, right? And so, of course, we want it to be this organic networking, but we feel like you need to have something to kind of spark that. And so we've had authors at our brunches. We had the pleasure of having Fatima Scipio, Caroline Clark Graves, and yes, and so, those women come and share their stories and share their resources, and it allows for women to feel open, comfortable, and the testimonials have been overwhelming. People have gained employment, right?
Oh, wonderful.
From coming. People, we have a team that's a part of our brand. We have a photographer, Sheila Ennis, and she has really been able to create and expand her territory as a result of being a part of Let's Do Brunch. We now have, we're really excited to welcome a female DJ.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes, Miss Chu, the DJ, and she's going to be joining us at our December 14th brunch.
And where's that going to be located?
That's going to be at Alvin and Friends in New Rochelle, New York.
Okay.
We also have a brand wardrobe consultant, Nicole Finnegan, Naziba, and so she also blogs for us as well.
Wonderful.
And just to interrupt a little bit, Nicole's role came out of her attending our brunches and just being really supportive. And we didn't really know her, and she just showed up, and she was there, and she was supportive, and she invited friends, and then we learned what she did, and we started asking her questions, and then all of a sudden it just morphed into this role, and now she's doing this work on her own, and it's amazing.
It's wonderful.
We also have Donna Saunders, who does all of our event design and helps with all of our event
And
planning.
these are women coming together
Yes.
who have skills and talents and they're able to exercise it
Yes.
and be able to inspire and uplift other women.
Yes.
And they
which
believe,
is so beautiful.
They
Yes,
believe in what we
right.
believe in, which is there's space for all of us to win.
Exactly, and that's why you call it Join the Movement.
Yes.
Because it's
Yes.
a movement that's expanding for both of you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I know you talked about it's going to be in Philly.
Yes.
You're expanding to Philadelphia, and
Yes.
as someone, I guess, opening up a chapter in Philly. I guess
So-
we're going to
so-
call it that.
So let me explain. So there is no chapter affiliation.
Okay.
And so one of the reasons why we did not want to do that, because traditionally that is what most organizations are, right? So you have to affiliate with a chapter. You are a member simply by attending.
Just showing up.
Yeah, and so we were really fortunate to host an event at the Congressional Black Caucus this year, and we've been invited back. We were the first only all-female event at the CBC. We were the closing brunch, and we had LaDavia Drain,
who was the executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus. And we simply made a phone call, asked her to attend, asked her to speak, and she said, of course, sure. It's amazing how you can reach out to women and they will just say yes, because women want this kind of thing.
Yes,
You know, and
yes.
then the most amazing thing that came out of this is we have daughters. And it's really, really important. They're always around us. They're always with us. When we're having our conference calls, they're listening. When we're on the computer, they're watching. They said, well, we want to do this too. And so now Savannah, Raisha's daughter, and my daughter Jordan, they host Little Ladies Who Brunch.
Okay.
And we have an upcoming event.
Yes, Saturday, November 29th, Little Ladies Brunch with Santa. So we will be dining at the Rockefeller Center Cafe, and then we will have exclusive VIP entry into the world-famous Rockefeller Center skating rink. And so
What
the
a
little
way
gr-
to just
yes.
really, really just give that upliftment and again, that empowerment. That's what it's all about. And also, as the show says, I have a dream too.
Absolutely.
Right.
I have a dream too.
Absolutely.
You know, all the things that we may experience as struggling and challenges and family and, you know, wife and all of these things of the nature. But wait a minute, after all of that, I have a dream too. Do you hear me?
Absolutely.
And so when you take that and you take, I call it a calling, and you redefine your purpose,
Yes.
look what evolves.
Absolutely.
You know, you couldn't have imagined that it would have gone this far. Like you said, it was just a phone call.
Yes.
Okay, and I would come. And you also said it's not even a membership. It's like once you just show up, you're a member.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Okay,
exactly.
We
You
just
are
need you
part
to
of the
smile.
movement.
That's
we
it.
need you to meet two people.
That's it.
Okay, and come out better than you were.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Maybe with even a job, like
Yes.
you said. So that's real important. So November 29th, you have Little Ladies Brunch with Santa.
Yes.
That's going to be located where?
That's at the Rockefeller Center Cafe.
In Manhattan.
Yes,
Yes.
and then we have December 14th. We have it's the perfect girlfriends gathering for the holidays, and that's at Alvin and Friends in New Rochelle. And then on January 17th,
Go ahead.
we are heading to Philadelphia,
All
the
right.
city of brotherly love.
Yes.
And we will be hosting an event in honor of Dr. King's birthday.
Excellent.
And in February, we are so excited to be hosting Black Love, It's Real.
Uh-oh.
And so, you know,
What is that?
So Black Love, It's Real. One of the things that we realized came out of this movement is that everyone thinks that this whole idea of the solid black family came from the Cosbys or from the Obamas. And one of the things that we know is our family structure has been in place for years.
Absolutely.
Yes, when we were not allowed to be married,
Yes.
we were married, and we had a very
Absolutely.
strong family foundation. And what we do is a lot of research. And in our research, we found the most amazing old photographs of families of color coming together, supporting each other, and being together. And we want to celebrate that.
Right.
So that'll be our community event. It is
Excellent.
going to be free. We're hosting it in Harlem, and so stay tuned.
Definitely.
Yes.
So you have a store coming soon, but if people want to go and find out about Let's Do Brunch New York City, Raisha and Marcella have a website called Let's Do Brunch New York City.com. Is that right?
Squarespace.com.
Squarespace. So let's do brunch New York City, Squarespace.com.
You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
And Twitter, okay. And you can follow them, as they said, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And so remember, ladies, anybody who's watching, it's not a party, it's a movement.
Absolutely.
It's a brunch with a purpose. So we want to be able to just say thank you for coming. I
you.
know
Thank you for
come
having
back,
us.
Oh, we
okay?
will.
We'll figure it out.
Yes,
We need to come
yes,
back and
yes.
talk about all the things that you're doing, and this is great
We
because
can
you have a
bring
lot
our
to
girls.
offer.
Our girls
Yes.
Absolutely, I
our
love
girls.
that.
Yes.
I would definitely love
Thank you
that because
so
it is
much.
about family.
Yes,
And you just didn't
yes.
get all of the time that was needed, but this is what it's all about. I
Thank
Have
you.
a Dream Too, online TV talk show, and you'll see me every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. right here at the Madhouse Studio. And tune in. This has been wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.